Hi everyone, Ify here. Another video shot outdoors. It's not the best day to shoot this kind of video. It's not the warmest, it's not the sunniest, but I got a bit lucky because it was very cloudy, and right now when starting to shoot this video the sun has actually come out a bit. But anyway, spring is almost here, and you might want to know which fragrances am I going to wear this spring. Okay, so this is a top 6 of fragrances I am going to wear this spring of 2019. Okay, they're not the best spring fragrances. I'm not going to say, hey guys, these are the best spring fragrances, you need to wear only these. No, these are the ones that I'm going to wear this year. And it was really tough for me to make a top with these fragrances because I love every single one of them. So it was very difficult to find the place for each one in the list. But anyway, I managed to do it. I managed to pick least favorites to most favorites. So here's the list. So number 6 spot belongs to a fragrance which I never presented on this channel. A timeless classic, a fragrance that doesn't get dated, the price still low, the quality still great. Nautica Voyage. Boy, this fragrance is indeed awesome, like everyone else says. This burst of apple freshness combined with sweetness makes this fragrance also wearable during spring. Now, judging by the title Nautica Voyage, you might say that this is a summer fragrance. Well, it's not only for summer, guys, because it is quite sweet, and this is why I choose to wear it also during spring. Number 5 spot is a fragrance which is inspired by Creed Aventus. It is Pineapple Vintage Intense by Perfumes Vintage. Now, this house has either positive or negative comments and reviews about it, mostly because of the price, but I will talk about this in another video. For this video, I just want to say that this fragrance, I don't really compare it to Aventus because this has tons and tons of pineapple, even though the Aventus DNA, it is there, but this has really a burst of sweet, juicy pineapple. And combine that with a great 8 hours longevity, great projection, I don't see why this fragrance will not go in my top list fragrances for this summer. Number 4, right? Well, number 4, guys, is a classic masterpiece. It's a fragrance that it's not for everyone, even though it's made in such a way that even the younger crowd can wear it. It is Aramis Havana. And this fragrance, if you smelled anything from Aramis, you know that they are not your usual sweet teenager fragrances, but this one somehow, with a little bit of sweetness, has managed to somehow bring it into the modern world. If I compare this to the other barbershop kind of scents, the classic one with oak moss, I don't find this one such a hard fragrance to pull off. Unfortunately, the performance of this one is not that great, so if you get it, you need to spray a bit more with this one, but you will still get that really nice manly smell. When you smell a fragrance like this, it really makes you feel like, this is something else. Now, getting back to our sweet but not so sweet fragrances, and this is where the list is really starting to get very difficult for me because these last 3 were very hard for me to place, and this one is a fragrance which most of you probably have in your collection, because if you have been following my channel and if you have been purchasing Middle Eastern fragrances, you probably own this fragrance, Rasasi Daarej. And what do I have to say about this fragrance? I mean, first of all, just look at this beautiful bottle with this purple juice inside it. And this fragrance, guys, is the perfect example that a sweet fragrance can also be manly. I mean, this has enough sweetness to make it sexy but still keep its manliness. Performance, it's absolutely stunning. I mean, this is a 10 hours plus fragrance. Now the real hard part comes, guys, because I have only 2 fragrances left on the list, and it was really difficult for me to figure out which one goes number 1 and which one goes number 2. Okay guys, so number 2 is a fragrance which I've shown you. You know what, I'm still thinking that this should be number 1. Okay guys, so number 1 is Kiton Men. I cannot believe this. It's just so good. I know why people say this. People usually say about this fragrance that it reminds them of Fahrenheit by Dior. And I know what they're talking about. I mean, I'm getting a bit of that, but I'm also getting a bit of Cool Water or Green Irish Tweed. So think of this fragrance, a combination of those two. You're not going to get too much of a note compared to the other ones. I mean, it's a perfect blend. None of the notes really stand out, but they work together in such a way that they make this fragrance work very, very well. This is perfect, in my opinion, all year round. It's even more perfect during spring. Okay, so last but not least is the number 2. This should have been the number 1, but I just changed my mind because Kiton Men is just too good, in my opinion. Like I said, these are fragrances that I'm going to wear. I love them. You're not supposed to agree with me, but you should try them at least. But anyway, leave a comment below and let everyone know about your opinion, because that's why this is a fragrance community, so everyone could share their opinion. I think you've seen the fragrance, right? Anyway, number 2, it's easy, a fragrance that is really overlooked in the fragrance community. Rarely anyone talks about it, Azzaro Visit. I mean, come on guys, even the bottle of this one, look at the design. Look how you are spraying with this fragrance. Beautiful, beautiful color. This fragrance has one of the most beautiful openings ever. I mean, it opens, it smells in the opening like an homage fragrance. It's definitely niche-like in the opening. And then in the dry down, this fragrance becomes a bright cedarwood incensey fragrance. Even in the dry down, it still keeps a bit of that niche quality, because it reminds me of a fragrance from Mark Buxton called Woods and Absinthe. It's such an overlooked, such an underrated. It should be in almost any list with good, great, cheap fragrances, because this is still on the budget. The woods, the dry woods that this smells like reminds me of spring, and that's why this is my number 2. These were the fragrances, this was the video, this was the Iffy. As usual, if you own any of these fragrances, let me know your opinion about them, and also I would like to know what are your fragrance choices for this spring of 2019. Until the next video, beautiful opening. Just keep smelling great. I think I changed my mind again. I think this should be number 1.